Welcome, Arnold, Howie. I'm delighted to have you here. Arnold Graham, Howie Rapp from the NYK agency, but they go back to the Charlie Rapp agency. And you gentlemen were really responsible for the second most important thing that guests thought. Of course, the food was number one, and number two was the entertainment. And I would love for you to share with us what it was like in the years gone by and the progression and how you got started in the Catskill area and so forth.
Howie, you can go first.
Oh, thank you. Well, my uncle Charlie Rapp started the business in the 50s, and he brought entertainment up to all the Catskill resorts, and he actually helped to create packages of instead of one show and back, he would give them like 30, 40, 50 shows in the 10-week period that everybody was open. And I started when I was 13. I would work every summer, up at the hotel that Charlie rented for the entertainers, because the hotels in the Catskills, Grossingers and everybody, they were all full and they couldn't put up the
And
entertainers.
it took a long time to get back to New York in those days.
Yeah. And so the union at the time made the hotels responsible for dinner, room, and breakfast. So they could handle the food, but they couldn't give up the rooms. So my uncle would find a small old hotel, and he would rent it for the season,
And you managed it.
and I managed it.
Oh my
When I
Lord.
was 13. And then every year he'd give me another job to add to it, so I would learn a little more until I was able to go to the office in New York.
Oh my.
And but it was a great experience living in this hotel with all the entertainers that were there.
Oh, you must have.
Because I met all of them when I was very young, so when I got older, it was nice being with them again.
Now, how did you and Arnold get involved?
Well, Arnold had a business with his father for many years. He started very young also.
15.
Oh, you're the old man, so
I'm the old one, right?
tell me.
And I work with my dad. My dad had an agency called Columbia Radio and Theatrical Bureau. And we were on top of the Ed Sullivan building at that time. And I worked with my dad right after I graduated from high school, and then attended City College on a twilight session, which I hated, and only wanted to work, so I did. And from there, we grew the business. And in 1970, I went with Howard and his uncle Charlie, and I became a 25% partner. Howie became a 25% partner, and Charlie was 50%. Upon Charlie's death in 1974, Howard and I took the business over as 50-50 partners, and we reopened that season. And I'm proud to say that everybody in the Catskills that we booked stayed with us. Here we were, two young guys, and they had enough faith in us to allow us to book all the resorts, including the beautiful Grossingers.
But, did you book foreign people, like people from France or England?
Yeah, there were
Absolutely.
a lot of Israeli groups came in at that time, the Sabra dancers, and then we also had from Spain,
Gauchos,
Gaucho
dancers, flamenco dancers.
Well, I have a little story to tell you.
Okay.
And we've known each other all these years, and I never shared this with you. My husband David and I were coming back on a cruise ship, and I was waiting for him to finish his bridge game, and I started to talk to one of the chaps who was the entertainer. He said he lived in California and he wanted to do the condos, and I said, well, I've just got the people that'll take it for you, and I said, it's a Rapp agency, fine. So Ken went his way, I waited for David, we went upstairs on the Lido deck to have lunch, and Ken was there. So I said, Ken, this is my husband, and he was talking to two older Brits. And he informed us that they were entertainers, and they said, let's all eat lunch together. So when we sat down, And then Ken proceeds to tell them again that I'm going to arrange for the Rapp agency with him. And the guys look at each other. They said, we did a tour with the Rapp agency. We played Kutchers, Concord, Browns, and Grossingers. And the thrill was that we met Jenny Grossinger.
Yeah.
And I said, God's honest
That's
truth.
funny.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a small